It's feeling very autumnal here in Bakewell this morning. I'm filming this quite early on Sunday morning, taking Kobe for a walk before standing in the park, just walking down through the churchyard. It's an amazing building. It's 8:30 and I haven't created a video for a while, but I felt really inspired this morning to say a few words about the incredible unfoldings in American politics. And obviously I got quite involved in UK politics and witnessed firsthand the kind of corruption at play, in particular the media bias, complete media bias. So very interesting. Well, there's the bell. It rings on the quarter hour, so two bells, ding dong equals 8:30. Kobe's just done a poo, so hold on. Incredible to watch the unfoldings in America as RF Kennedy essentially has relinquished his campaign as an independent candidate for President of the United States and to basically back Donald Trump's campaign. Now, it's a bit of a shocker because the Kennedy family is historically Democrat. But the genius move of what RF Kennedy did, now of course John F. Kennedy is Robert Kennedy's uncle, who was assassinated in 1964, the year that I was born actually. And his father, who I think was also called Bobby Kennedy, was assassinated too. So I suspect that Trump's assassination, or the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, would have sparked something at a very deep level. The injustice of attempting to silence a figure speaking out and standing in politics, no matter what their beliefs, no matter what their party. It is the ultimate form of injustice. Now, RFK is a lawyer, so he will be deeply ingrained in the principle of justice, and it's something that I've been studying common law myself, probably for 2 years now, and really feeling a very strong principle of justice. So, for example, if anyone says, oh, so-and-so is blah, 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 blah. So have they actually had a fair trial? Have you gathered all the evidence? Has this person had the opportunity to defend themselves? I mean, these are the principles of justice. Oh my God, Kobe's doing yet another poo. So he must be doing a big purge here. So I'm going to have to stop the camera again. Hold on. I'm back home now, but I'm just adding in this little piece about freedom of speech. Obviously, here in the UK, we've had a massive clampdown by Keir Starmer within days of coming into office, clamping down on people posting on social media. And then this, over the past day or so, there has been the arrest of Pavel Durov, I think that's the name, of the creator of Telegram, on charges of related to Telegram as a platform. And they've been gunning for Telegram for a long time now. So it's interesting that they have essentially, they're attempting to close down Telegram. And the reason I am on Telegram is because it is a platform of freedom of speech. And I certainly don't follow any content which I would deem to be criminal in any way. I love the fact that Telegram is absolute freedom of speech. I love the fact that there's no algorithm, that whatever you post gets into your timeline, and if people choose to follow you, they can see everything. And you know, it's a river of amazing, fascinating content where people are not having to dumb themselves down, which is the case on all of the World Economic Forum platforms like Facebook and YouTube, where you end up as a creator, as a content creator, feeling that you've got to kind of dumb yourself down And I'm not dumbing myself down for anyone, and who knows, I mean, maybe this video will get banned. I'm uploading it to YouTube. I still have a lot of followers on YouTube, but I am backed up to Odyssey, so if this video disappears, then you can always find it backed up on Odyssey. So just wanted to add this piece in about the outrageous lengths that the establishment is going to now to try to prevent freedom of speech in so many countries. And in America, it is one of their most cherished rights, the freedom of speech in the Constitution. And that's why I feel it's so important. It's been so interesting that Bobby Kennedy made a big point of that in his speech, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about the oppression of the media, and in particular in America, the oppression of all voices that do not conform to the narrative. Okay, Kobe accidentally got fed 3 times yesterday. Twice by me and then once again by my son. And I've been cooking him these, I've given up giving him processed dog food, so I cook him a whole batch of meals, like kind of roast chicken with veg or rice, and very plain. But he absolutely loves that food and he gobbles it all into him. So if presented with a third bowl, it will not be any challenge for him to actually munch his way through it. Hence the 2 poos in quick succession. But anyway, back to RFK. So he did the genius thing of doing a very presidential speech, a live stream, which was about an hour long, and I watched it in its entirety yesterday. And he completely laid it out about the corruption in politics, about how the media corporations are completely bought and paid for by these big corporate interests who had completely attempted to smear Trump and refused to give him airtime. Marianne Williamson had been saying the same thing. We found the same thing here, exactly the same thing. In the UK, no airtime coverage whatsoever for anyone other than the red and blue, really. Apart from maybe Farage, who was clearly, in retrospect, it's clear that he was brought in specifically, Farage and Tice, to create reform, to split the con vote, to deliver Labour a landslide, despite the fact they only got less than 20% of the vote. Anyway, I won't get dug into UK politics again, because you probably know my feelings from previous videos. But going back to America, so he laid it bare in this speech, very presidential speech, and just the absolute corruption with these big corporations controlling big pharma, big agriculture, the food, the toxins in the foods, big pharma basically making so much money out of every ill person, huge amount of money to be made out of sick children in particular, and just completely blew it wide open. Now, when I watched that yesterday, it had 4.7 million views already. It was quite new, so goodness knows how many people have watched it by now, but it certainly echoes everything that we were talking about in the Love Movement campaign. And indeed, everyone in the freedom movement has been speaking out against, for 4 years now. So it was so refreshing to hear this spoken, this truth spoken. And then, of course, RFK went on stage at the Trump rally in Arizona. My arm's aching now because one of my sons has taken my selfie stick. I'm going to have to get another one. And it's not the easiest thing to juggle. Poo bag in one hand and Kobe's lead, and my aching arm in the other, holding the phone. So RFK went on stage at the Trump rally, and the beautiful thing about it was these are 2 men who don't agree on everything, and yet they decided that together, even though they were quite far apart, hold on, let's just put this in the bin, nonetheless they decided to put those aside and see the bigger picture, the bigger enemy. Now, one of the things RFK said in his speech was that the Democrat Party was nothing like the party of his childhood when his uncle and his father were involved in the Democrats. And that exactly echoes what Marianne Williamson has said. And she very much was speaking in her presidential campaign to the fathers of American politics like Roosevelt and Washington and Franklin and all of the principles of the Constitution. Now, of course, one of the biggest principles of the American Constitution is freedom of speech. Hold on, we've got 2 dogs up ahead. Now, can you see this up here? I digress. Whole flocks of wild geese. Amazing. Now, they are actually a real problem here, both here and in Buxton, because they've been breeding like crazy. I mean, there are whole flocks of them, but nonetheless, they are quite an amazing sight. But yes, it's a big challenge because they're Canadian wild geese, and they're breeding like crazy. They leave a lot of mess in terms of droppings, and they're actually quite ferocious apparently, and they frighten off the other bird wildlife. So there's a big dilemma about what to do, because of course no one really wants to cull them. There we go, there's some more. So you can see those huge numbers of them. So yeah, unity consciousness, putting aside differences and coming together with a greater purpose, a greater vision. It's such a beautiful thing to witness that happening and that being modelled for us. And it's quite incredible. I mean, for whatever your views may be on what's going on in America, or whether indeed Trump is corrupt. I mean, I want to make it clear at this point, I'm not particularly a Trump supporter. I did like Marianne Williamson, but again, I didn't agree necessarily with everything that she said or all her policies. Oh my goodness, he's doing yet another poo. I cannot believe it, 3 times. Lucky I bought enough poo bags. Oh my goodness, right, back to what I was saying. So it has been incredible to watch how Trump has kind of rallied people like Elon Musk. Big support, obviously, from people like Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, now RFK, just building a huge support from people who can see the bigger picture, who can see the problem. And I do feel that this has gone way beyond anything that we experienced back in 2020, yes, when Biden won, allegedly. We won't go into that, poll rigging and all that. But this does have the feel that Trump is now a mega force, an unstoppable force that is capturing the kind of zeitgeist of the times. I'm going to have to put Kobe on the lead now because we're headed towards town and there's dogs. Apologies if this is a bit of a disjointed video. It's one of my classic rambling rambles. And also apologies if my hair looks a bit wet. I'm using the wind as a natural hairdryer. I only wash my hair once a week and it's so much better condition for it. So I decided to wash it this morning. I'm using the wind as a natural hairdryer. So yeah, it feels like it's really exciting what's unfolding. Let's pause for a while, let that dog go by. Otherwise I end up having to Kobe keeps pulling on the lead, trying to chase other dogs, and he's very strong now. He's a little barrel of muscle, so it can take me quite a lot of strength to restrain him if he's of a mind to pull and chase something. So it's easier when we're just having a nice steady walk like now. Yeah, so it does feel to me that everything that was hidden, I mean, a lot of us knew But for many people, all of this was hidden. But it's coming out big time now. And it only takes a small number for something to reach critical mass. Let me hold this up higher, actually. It's easier to have my arm straight. It only takes 15% of the people to wake up to something, for something to have critical mass, or to get into the mass consciousness. The kind of parachuting in of Kamala Harris as the successor to Joe Biden, without any debate, without any vote, without any fresh primaries, that's not democratic. And I think people can see the extent to which these politicians are just puppets now. They're just sock puppets who are obediently there to deliver the lines that they're told to. And I think people can see the lack of integrity in politics generally, particularly in America right now. Certainly, I believe that people can see that, could see that quite evidently with what went on in the UK back in July. So it seems to me that the whole story is unravelling. And if you know anything about the astrology of these times, it's like we're in the final gasp of Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is about to go retrograde into the last 29th degree of Capricorn, which is the aniretic. It's the kind of shadow side of a sign. And Capricorn is the father, it is the patriarchy, it is control, command control. It's ruled by Saturn. And it's about that kind of constraint and systems that want to hold power over command control. And collectively, my sense is that we are all breaking out of that. We're wanting freedom, we're wanting liberation, we're wanting a restoration of our common law rights. We want to be sovereign beings. We don't want to be told what to do and ordered around by people who essentially are supposed to be public servants. All of these people, politicians, the police, the justice system, it's like they've taken on a kind of power structure of their own, and it all seems to be underpinned by big corporate forces. So I think people are waking up big time to what is going on and saying, no, we've had enough. We've had enough of the command control, and we're taking back the power. And that isn't in any form of revolution or violent way. That's the difference in this. It's completely peaceful. It's conscious, it's aware. And this is the thing I want to end on, actually. So just to complete on Pluto. Pluto is about to retrograde back on into 29 degrees of Capricorn. I believe it moves out of Capricorn forever on the 15th of November. And basically will move into Aquarius, which is the sign of the people, the social collective consciousness, ruled by Uranus, so a completely different kettle of fish. It will be about freedom and liberation and sudden shocks. And so we are seeing the final days of this patriarchal system, in my humble opinion. And the thing I want to end on is the number of mentions in RFK's speech yesterday about his belief in God and his prayer. And I have to say that with the Trump assassination attempt, whatever you may think of that, that felt to me that it was that he is alive by the grace of God. And I think that whatever happened there has backfired very badly. I don't think it could possibly have been faked or done as a kind of false flag. I really don't believe that, because it was too close. And the fact that Trump survived, it was actually, in every adversity lie the seeds of opportunity, as to paraphrase Napoleon Hill. Everything is a blessing, no matter how bad something can look. Everything has the seeds of being a blessing if you look hard enough and as you meditate on what's unfolding. And that applies to everything in life. I strongly believe that through my own life journey. No matter how dark things get, life is always a urging us on in a benevolent way. It's just sometimes we're in resistance to change, and all pain comes through resistance. So, and Bobby Kennedy made a lot of references to prayer and to God. So I do feel that there is a force behind this, which is transcending politics now, which is rising up to be the catalyst for massive change, to break this grip that the big corporate interests have over every area of our life and return the power back to the people. And that is my observation, and also my deep felt wish. And with that thought, I'm going to go and get a little morning latte and sending you so much love from a very blue sky, if not a bit autumnal chilly, Bakewell. Bye for now.